Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at this Dell Optiplex. This is a Optiplex 7090 small form factor PC. Now, I've looked at a bunch of Optiplexes at this point on the channel, but this one's a little different. This one's not nearly as old as some of the other Optiplexes I've looked at. So let's talk about the specs of this one. This has an i5 11500, which has 6 cores and 12 threads. It's got 16 gigs of RAM in dual channel, and it's got a 500 gig NvMe drive. So this CPU came out in 2021, so it's really not that old. It's not like those 4th gen or 6th gen or 7th gen processors. This will be able to run Windows 11, unlike some of the older CPUs. And yes, I know you can still install Windows 11 on older CPUs, but a lot of people simply aren't interested in doing any of those workarounds. So let's take a quick look inside here, and it looks just like any of the other Optiplexes I've looked at. Now, right away, you'll see that the two PCIe slots here, and just like always, Dell has placed the longer PCIe slot right next to the power supply, which is completely ridiculous. But we'll talk about that more in a moment. But first, let's take a closer look again at the inside. I'm just going to remove this, and so this way we'll be able to see the NVMe drive and the 2 sticks of RAM. So you can see our NVMe drive here, and this actually has 3 M.2 slots, which is kind of cool. 2 are probably for hard drives, and 1 slot's probably for a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card. Plus, this thing actually has 3 SATA ports, so a lot of room for more hard drives, which is great. And here is our 2 sticks of RAM, 2 8 gig sticks for giving us a total of 16. And for the power supply, we have a 200-watt power supply here. Now let's talk about the GPU I'm going to be using today. This is the low profile RX 6400. It's got 4 gigs of VRAM. It's a great card for small form factor builds. However, some people do not like it because this card is for a Gen 4 PCIe slot. Now you can install this in a Gen 3 slot, but on some games you might lose some performance. And from what I've read, it's about 10 to 15%. Now, I've used it on older systems and have been pretty happy with it, even though those systems had PCIe Gen 3. Now, this particular Optiplex does have a Gen 4 PCIe slot, so I'll be using the full potential of the RX 6400. And something else to mention is this CPU, I believe, supports rebar, which means I can use the full potential of those Intel GPUs as well. So that's something I might try to do in a future video. So with the RX 6400 installed, I'm going to try out some games. First, we're going to try the Heaven benchmark test right now. And I got a score of 2746 and an FPS of 109. So the first game I tried here was GTA 5. This is 1080p on the normal settings, and as you can see, I'm in the 90s for FPS, sometimes getting to the 100s. Temps for the CPU and GPU were a little high, and I do have this on mute because I forgot to turn off the background music, so I didn't want to get hit with any copyright strikes. But overall, this looks pretty good. And here's Forza Horizon 5. This is the benchmark test. This is on low settings on 1080p. And as you can see, we got a score of 82 FPS. Now, I do want to mention that during this game, the fan noise did kick in quite a bit. And here is the benchmark test for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is on 1080p and low settings as well. And as you can see, it got an average FPS of 83, not too bad at all. Alright, and here is Fortnite. This is 1080p in performance mode. And here is Spiderman Remastered on low settings, 1080p. And here's Halo Infinite, 1080p low settings, unlocked frame rate.
Outstanding. What a reliable weapon.
So pretty decent performance out of this Optiplex. I do wish the CPU and GPU temps were better, although I didn't put fresh thermal paste on the CPU, so doing that would help the CPU temps. Having the longer PCIe slot right next to the power supply really is still very annoying on these Optiplexes. You can still use those dual slot GPUs, but they need to go in the shorter PCIe slot. I'm now thinking of doing another low profile GPU comparison video using this Optiplex since it's much newer than the previous one I used. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that. So that's going to do it for this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching.